we know about the miracle. Israel, I am Hanani Naphtali, in under 72 hours. And it actually came this close to eliminating their president inside Tehran, the capital of Iran. And now, Iran's blaming Jewish magic for their defeat. You can't make this up, so let's talk about everything. Shalom from Israel, I am Hanani Naphtali with the latest update from the Middle East. Month, the Islamic Republic of Iran got humiliated in a war it never expected to lose. They provoked a war. I mean, for decades they chanted death to Israel, and now they brought death upon their own regime. They watched it spiral out of control, lost key military leaders, and then did what tyrannical regimes always do when they don't understand how they got crashed. They blame the supernatural. Yes, you heard that right. Well, look, before we continue, and before I explain, all the deep, Israel's secret weapon, if I may say, a former senior Iranian regime mouthpiece, Abdullah Janji, who was actually the editor of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps propaganda newspaper called Javan, he wrote this week, listen carefully, he said, Israel must have used occult and supernatural spirits to win the war. I guess he didn't hear about the God of Israel, but they certainly felt the wrath of the God of Israel, because if he had known about God, maybe he wouldn't be so confused about what just hit Tehran. Look, the man literally claimed that sheets of paper with Jewish talismans were found on the streets of Tehran after the war. He also accused Prime Minister Netanyahu of meeting with occult specialists. Yeah, this is what Iran's elite are now posting online. You really can't make this stuff up. And also remember how they accused the Israeli Mossad for stealing their clouds? Look, I'll tell you something. This is actually one of the most honest things a regime official in Iran has ever said. He confirms that the hand of God was at work. This is what it is. He called it magic. But we, the people of the Bible, we know about the miracles that our God performs. And by the way, this is not the first time the enemies of Israel panicked and blamed supernatural forces. You can go back to 1 Samuel 4-5, when the Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant. At first they celebrated. Then strange things started happening. Their idol, Dagon, collapsed. Then it lost its head and limbs. Then tumors started to break out across their cities. So they said the God of Israel is against us and rushed to send the ark back. Even back then, thousands of years ago, Israel's enemies saw God's hand and tried to explain it away. Look, today nothing changed. God does not change. Israel does the impossible. And instead of admitting defeat, they would rather say they use magic. But let's be clear. There is no magic. There is only the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he still defends his people. But there's actually more drama than this, because as I mentioned earlier, the president of Iran was sitting in a war room with his top officials behind fortified walls, under layers of security, and I believe under some good layers of concrete. A lot to talk about, especially about Iran and Israel, what's going to happen. Look, the Iranian regime didn't just lose a war, it actually got exposed. Israel took out almost all of Iran's top military commanders in under 72 hours. And it actually came this close to eliminating their president inside Tehran, the capital of Iran. And now, Iran's blaming Jewish magic for their defeat. You can't make this up, so let's talk about everything. Shalom from Israel, I am Hanani Naphtali